We're going to have strong, incredible borders, and people are going to come into our country, but they're going to come into our country legally. They're going to come in legally. We're going to build a wall. It's going to be built. It's not even, believe it or not, it's not even a difficult thing to do.
That was New Hampshire primary winner Donald Trump tonight, rallying his supporters over an issue they care deeply about, immigration. And it is not just the Trump voters. The exit poll showing 64% of all New Hampshire Republican primary voters support Trump's proposal to temporarily ban Muslims who are not U.S. citizens from entering the U.S. Joining me now, Guy Benson, who's a Fox News contributor and co-author of the book End of Discussion, and Roger Stone, who's a former political advisor to Donald Trump and former advisor to President Richard Nixon. Great to see you both. So, Guy, they support him on immigration. They support him on the ban of Muslims. They support him across the board. He won them on every issue. And the question is whether that enthusiasm for Donald Trump, you think, translates out of New Hampshire.
It absolutely does. And if you look at the numbers in South Carolina, arguably he's in a stronger position going down there. So when the first round of exit polls came out tonight and you saw nearly two-thirds of Republicans agreeing with the Muslim ban, 50% of Republican voters saying that they felt betrayed by their own party, it became clear this was not going to be a Trump night. This was going to be a big Trump night. And when the final round of exit polls were finally put to bed, we went through all of them. Trump won virtually every single demographic across every single category, most of them by double digits. This was a jaw-dropping performance by Trump. And, you know, he was aided, of course, by the splintered field in the rest of the party, but he has a full head of steam heading south to the Palmetto State.
Because, Roger, now Trump is very well positioned, because it may be that 70% of the voters here in New Hampshire didn't want Donald Trump, but there's like 40 candidates splitting that 70%. And so as long as Trump can keep them fractured, he's well positioned.
Well, 34% in an 8-person field is a performance that can only be called huge. And among, for example, the very conservative voters who he lost among in Iowa, he thumped Ted Cruz. Among moderates, essentially a slight edge over John Kasich. Among high school graduates and less, overwhelming support. Among postgraduates and high school and college graduates, once again, Trump triumphed. So he goes into South Carolina, a state with a great military tradition, a great conservative tradition, as a proponent of a stronger military, with a populist message that he is unbeholden to any special interests. You can't buy Trump, you can't bully Trump, you can't influence Trump. This is his Trump card, as it were, and I think it will work in South Carolina as it worked in New Hampshire tonight.
Go ahead, Guy.
You know, Megan, last week, the three of us were all together on your show talking about Iowa, and I made 2 points. I said Trump underperformed his public polling in Iowa, which was a red flag for him, and I also said that the political laws of physics do apply to Donald Trump because of ground game. Well, tonight I'm going to tell you that he overperformed his polling in New Hampshire, and in a state that supposedly prizes retail campaigning, mastery on policy specifics, Donald Trump proved that there are certain waiver clauses for him. He did far fewer events in this state than any of his rivals, and he still won a dominant victory. Those facts should scare anyone not named Donald Trump in this race.
So Roger, what does Donald Trump do now about Ted Cruz, who does have a formidable ground game and is set up in the next wave of states that we're going to go to?
Well, it's kind of interesting. South Carolina was actually set ahead of the other southern primaries in 1980 by my longtime friend and colleague Lee Atwater when we worked together in the Reagan campaign. It was meant to be the gateway to the South. So in order for Ted Cruz to score post-South Carolina, he's got to score in South Carolina. And I think he's going to come up against Donald Trump there. I think Trump will defeat Cruz. And if you look at any of those southern primaries today, post-South Carolina, those are the states in which Trump has his largest polling margin. So I feel good. I frankly don't think Ted Cruz is Donald Trump's problem in South Carolina. I think the intramural among the establishment candidates and the continued split field put Donald Trump in very strong position going forward.
This is the ideal result for him, because the person who came in second, A, didn't come anywhere near him, and B, you know, was an establishment guy who doesn't really have much of a game outside of New Hampshire, according to the pundits we've listened to tonight. Guy, good to see you. Roger, you too.